preacher man. Ain't no light to see. All those plans I made for myself, I got nobody else to lean on.
Welcome to everyone joining us to experience stories of resilience, hope, perseverance, and joy.
Move over to a sport chair, basketball wheelchair.
Category of Best Video are...
We love you guys.
Hey, Big Biz Show, BigBizShow.com. 100 million broadcast homes strong every weeknight and on weekends. We're also in 150 radio stations across the country, and thank you to BizTV, Biz Talk Radio Network, iHeartRadio. Who else? Oh yeah, Armed Forces Radio Network in 175 countries and all the ships at sea. Great to have you along today. Sully here, Costa there.
Hello.
And the Stuckey's 4. Isn't Cracker Barrel like a bad Coco's with rocking chairs?
Waffle House.
Yeah. Like it started as a good idea in 1953 when Ozzie and Harriet were on the air.
Yeah.
But when you've got like maple chairs and plastic, you know, what do they call it over the tablecloths?
Yeah.
Like, there's a 100% chance you're gonna go.
And then, yeah. No.
But it's almost like it's a rite of passage. You can't drive by one if you're on a family trip.
No.
Even if the Waffle House is where you gassed up 300 yards ago, you're going like that. So how do we get on that subject? Who was it, Stuckey's?
You mentioned Stuckey's. I said, oh, they're...
How did we get on Cracker Barrel? Was it because Trace is in D.C.?
Cracker Barrel.
Oh, that's what it was.
Cracker Barrel, yeah. And by the way, they're the ones that have the puzzle thing, by the way.
Yeah.
They do a lot of them. Not proud. Got on Saxenda right after that. Hey, Eric Brock is the chairman and CEO of Ondas Holdings, ONDS is his stock symbol. Of course, you can go to American-robotics.com or aerorobotics.com, and you've joined us once again. Eric, great to have you again. I'm so glad you came back on with us, because last time we were on the air, we got inundated with email about that really bad vest you're wearing. No, it was about it was about aerobotics. Talk about this drone technology we're talking about, because this is interesting stuff, because it sort of seems like there was a time, and we talked about this last week. So you're telling me that I just type in this word and a message is called email? You're sort of in the same place when you talk about drones, aren't you?
Yeah, we are. And let me just say, firstly, it's great to be back. I always appreciate the opportunity to carry the Ondas flag, and tell our story. But
great to have
you're right. We're really, we're really in the infancy here of autonomous drones or drone, what I call the drone economy. But with that said, we're starting to see that investment cycle pick up today, and I think most people don't realize that. In terms of the systems we bring to the market, you're showing one here, but we have what we call drone in a box. And of course, there's a lot more going on than just a box, which is a docking station, and really has a lot of the intelligence that the drone needs to operate reliably all day long, all week long, and provide the information and data services that the customers value.
Do you guys have something to deal with guys like Devin Doan, who drive the drone into the senior center dumpster every single time? Is this, honestly, the drone technology is great right up to the point where you realize there is some operator error, man. You've got to know what you're doing, correct?
You absolutely do, and these are highly regulated operations, right? The FAA is around for a very specific reason. They keep the airspace safe, and that's obviously valuable. So you got to know what you're doing. As you think about the drone economy today, there is quite a bit of activity, right? There's a lot of spending, and of course we're focused on commercial markets. That's industrial markets, critical infrastructure more specifically. So that's typically security and safety for, say, railroads or oil and gas fields, utilities, as well as public safety, right? That's law enforcement, fire, homeland security, things like that. But the bulk of that activity today in the drone economy is piloted drones, and there's people who have trained who are trained pilots. They operate those drones, and they're licensed to do that. However, if we want to see this drone economy expand and grow the way I expect it to, you need to automate a lot of that operation and take the pilot out, because the pilot doesn't scale. So if you're operating drones, and we're showing some video here of what we do, and you want to do it on a persistent daily basis, you have to do it autonomously, and that's the problem we have solved.
Mike, I'm sorry, Eric, what do you say to the people that are afraid of Big Brother and lack of privacy? And I'm going to argue that the Boston bomber would not have been caught had it not been for camera technology on every corner in Boston, correct? But there are those people. Now, do you run against those in companies when you're, I mean, obviously the adoption rate's very high in your product, but when you're going through the sales cycle, does that ever come up? Are we worried about privacy and such?
Well, yeah, of course we are. When you introduce new technologies, there's always going to be concern. There's always going to be folks who kind of look at the other side and say, okay, what could go wrong? Yeah. But the fact of the matter is the drone technology can save lives, and it does. And you reference cameras. I do remember 10, 15 years back, people saying, wow, I don't want a camera. We're never going to have those. We don't allow it because we can't trust the governments, even the people or the companies that protect their facilities with cameras. And of course, you fast forward today, and cameras are everywhere. They've been normalized, and they have been proven to be very effective and useful to society. So, when we're talking about marketing our systems, we're talking to folks who are sophisticated, know the value of the drone, and what we do is we work with them to help educate the people who are stakeholders in the community. And I expect that, it is going very well, and I expect that to become more and more normalized as time goes on.
His name's Eric Brock. He's the chairman and CEO of Ondas Holdings, Onds. So let's talk about the fact that you guys marched the ball down the field really well last year. What does 2023 look like? Because you're facing, we're in a financial condition that's unlike any other than the market meltdown of 2008, 2009. That's got to come into your planning. Let's talk about 2023 a little bit.
Yeah, well, it does, but I'd say at the same time, we're operating in markets that are really new and nascent in really just getting traction, and there's ROI attached to what we do. We talked about drones. We also have another business unit that's providing wireless connectivity to railroads, and when I talk about railroads, I'm talking about North America Class 1 freight rail operators, which is a massive industry with massive budgets. And you tend to see that the markets we're targeting, whether they're public safety, rail, other critical infrastructure markets, are less economically sensitive, firstly. And secondly, we're talking about new technologies that there's ROI attached to it. Right. So I'd say at the end markets, we're not seeing that much pressure from the economy, but you're right, it's an issue. And I think it's an issue more broadly for companies, right? So how do you operate in a volatile financial market? And how do you fund the business? So, and those are the things we're managing through now.
Well, that's why we have a nimble CEO by the name of Eric Brock. Well done, guys. Hey, Eric, I want to have you back, pal. Thank you so much, bud. Chairman and CEO of Ondas Holdings, ONDS, NASDAQ company. Aerobotics.com.
I want one of those big drones, man.
What could go wrong? Yes. As he said, as our guest said, what could go wrong?
Nothing.
All right. More to come. Big Biz Show, BigBizShow.com. Thanks so much.